Hello, and thank you for tuning in to The Gab Show. As we're getting ready for another amazing show, I just wanted to take a minute and introduce the team. I'm April Setti, the producer. We have Devin and Mark working behind the scenes, making magic happen. And then everybody loves George, our station manager. Central New Jersey Network has many shows besides us, of course, The Gab Show. And I encourage you to visit our website at cnjn.org to find our list of other shows. And in fact, we have an archive of past episodes to entertain you. The exciting news is you can stream local TV on your television, computer, or phone by simply downloading our CNJN app on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV. We even air on local cable channels of Verizon Fios and Comcast. And if you visit our website, again at cnjn.org, you just click here to navigate the downloads. Central New Jersey Network is working really hard to bring hyper-local community TV to you. Being in between New York and Philadelphia, we just kind of got tired of not being able to find local news about the people, destinations, and resources that are right in our own backyard. So while we're getting ready to go live, do me a favor, tell your friends, and you can also share onto your social media pages this very show right now. And again, thank you for watching The Gab Show. And as they say, enjoy the show.
Welcome to season 2 of The Gab, a Central New Jersey Network live show production. If you like this content, go to CNJN Facebook page. Share this link with a family member, a friend, a coworker. Give us a like or a heart and put into the comment box where you are watching from. I am Gabby Johnson, CEO of FitFab and WellTube and YoTownTube.com. I am here today with our recurring host, Joseph Olsley, owner and CEO of JRH Art Foundation, and our co-host, Melissa Tenzer, CEO of Dress Up Success, philanthropist, and fashion designer consultant. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you for having us all here today. We have such a great show in store for you. We have Bill Baroni. He's a community member right here in Mercer County who's done such great work. He found himself in the federal prison because of Bridgegate, and he's here to talk about lessons learned, a book that he's writing, and everything Bill Baroni. So we can't wait to hear about that.
And oh yeah, we have some fun Halloween tips with my friends Hocus and Pocus over there, and it's those last minute decorations for Halloween.
And as well as we're going to have a student from writer Danielle Tyson, who is right now learning about filmmaking. So, but right now we are going to have a little intro clip with Bill Baroni.
Thank you. As we argued today to the Supreme Court, there is a clear difference between politics and crime. In recent years, that distinction is being blurred amidst public chants to lock up this official or that official. Our country and its political environment are worse for it. We believe the Supreme Court chose to hear this case because it shares that view. A year ago, I walked into federal prison, and I never dreamed that the Supreme Court of the United States would agree to hear our case. And here we are. And I am grateful for the justices not just taking the case, but the attention and time and focus they've paid to these important issues. And decide whether or not I go back to prison, or after 6 years of an investigation and an indictment and a trial and an appeal and 2 sentencings and prison, Bridgegate will come to an end. And I want to thank my lawyers, Mike Levy and the folks at Sidley Austin. And you saw Mike up there did an extraordinary job. And I want to thank my family. My dad and stepmom are here. My Aunt Patsy, who's my mom's sister, and my mom's been gone for 26 years last week. And there's one other group I want to thank. And those are the guys that I was in prison with. For every day that I was there, never let me stop believing and never let me give up. And sometimes people forget them, and they are not forgotten today.
Bill Baroni, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you here today. You started your career at age 14 with Chris Smith, and you've evolved so much over the years, doing a lot of charity work through scholarship foundations and also everything community in politics and so on and so forth. But you found yourself in a difficult situation at the Port Authority and then the incarceration in federal prison because of Bridgegate. I wanted to ask you a little bit about that first experience when you walked into prison and how you felt. I know that I've heard you tell the story personally to me, but I want to talk about that moment that you went into prison and what you were feeling.
Well, Melissa, thanks for the question. Thanks for having me today. You know, it was a tough moment. Mm-hmm. You know, that you many people, when they report to prison, especially if they've been out on bail, as I was, there's that moment where you stand at the front door of the prison and you push a button and your whole life changes at that moment. And for me, leading up to that, as you heard in the introduction, you know, all through a trial and an appeal, and got to a moment where I had to decide. I wanted my appeal to keep going to the Supreme Court, which you saw. Not only did the Supreme Court take the case, but they ruled unanimously in our favor, myself and my friend Bridget Kelly. But I had to make a decision about whether or not to just wait on that appeal and hope that we'd win, or start serving my sentence. And I have older parents. My dad turned 80 just the other day, and I'm going to be one of the caregivers. And I had to decide, let's go in and get this over with, keep the appeal going, believing in the righteousness of the appeal, but also being practical, and decided to go in and start serving. And there was that day in 2019 where I pushed the button at Loretto Federal Prison in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and started serving what I thought would be an 18-month federal prison sentence. And 3 months later, the Supreme Court, as you saw, took the case and then later ruled in our favor. But for those months that I was away, that I was there in Loretto, the lessons that I learned about the various people who go into prison and the journeys that we're all on has really changed the way that I've looked at public service and the opportunity to help other people. I know, Joseph, you spend a lot of time helping people who are incarcerated or formerly incarcerated. And it's a real calling. And it's a real something that my life has been able to evolve to.
What a choice you made.
Bill, in retrospective, would you take the same action?
Yes, and let me tell you why. People have said that to me, say, "Oh, you didn't have to go into prison."
Right.
Bridget, who had young kids, did not go into prison, but her values about making sure she was home for their kids as long as possible made sense for her to stay out. But I had older parents in my choice at the time, so that the facts that were in front of me at the time, in early 2019, were: do I take a gamble? Because, you know, having any particular case, the Supreme Court to hear is about 1 in 10,000, something like that. And for a criminal defendant case, it's even more difficult to get your case taken. Or knowing that I have two parents in the time in their 70s, and I had to make the right choice. So I don't regret it. And I don't regret it for another reason. You know, I spent a lot of time in politics. I spent 6 years in the New Jersey legislature, the New Jersey State Senate. You know, I had the opportunity to learn something while I was away that I wish I had known when I went into politics. And that the challenges that people who are going into prison, are in prison, and coming out of prison are so much greater than I had ever seen when I was in the legislature. And I was someone, Melissa, you and I worked very closely when I was in the legislature.
Absolutely.
This was not something I had really had the exposure to. And it's something that now I've been able to work through.
And that is actually that path, that journey that you took. And it's beautiful into the video where you talk about your teammate, if you want, in prison, you know, how your life has switched. What was that particular moment where you really see that switch?
Well, I think when you're there and you see the variety of people that are facing time in the prison system, and I had the opportunity when I was there to help teach. So I taught adult continuing education classes and I taught GED classes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, in the federal prison system and a number of state systems, you either have to have a high school diploma or while you're there seek to get a GED. So one of the things that I got to do was teach GED, and people who have been in the school system who are now in the prison system, I had the opportunity to teach, you know, to have people get their high school diploma, which is so important. Joseph, you must know this. You know, when you come out of prison, getting a job, getting an apartment, getting a bank account is really difficult. And one of the roles that I think we can play, both inside the prison, which is what I got to do, and all of us outside, is helping people. Look, people make mistakes.
Absolutely.
All of us make mistakes.
Sure do.
But some of those mistakes are prosecuted. And some of the people who are prosecuted, almost all of them, 97, 98%, are going to come home, going to come back to the community. Do we want people to come back to our community who've gotten more education? Yes. Do we want people to come back to our community with job training? Yes. Do we want people to come back to our community with banking information, the ability to get an apartment, to be able to get a bank, get a job? Yes. But the system we have here, in many places, a lot of places, New Jersey's progressive on this, and New York and Pennsylvania, a lot of states, you can't get a job if you had a felony.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
No, it's
Therefore,
very
you
true.
can't maybe get a bank account. Very often, you can't get a bank account. Very often, difficult to get an apartment. So we take some, we say, you know what, you made a mistake. You committed a crime. We're going to send you to prison. But we really want you to go and be rehabilitated. But then when you come out, you can't get a job.
Right, that's the hardest
can't get an
part is the
apartment.
workforce part of it, because
Absolutely.
we work at Dress for Success, and
That's right.
Joseph's Foundation works with people that are in prison to do the rehabilitation GED classes, and also when they come out and they go to the halfway house to be able to get them those jobs. Did your nonprofit experience that you did all of those years in the community help you decide when you're in prison, like, I can do more, I can help, and you're such a giving person? Did that just come naturally to make the decision to teach and to be able to give back?
Absolutely right. You know, we're very lucky here in Central New Jersey to have a very vibrant, very alive group of not-for-profits
Absolutely.
who really cover the broad spectrum of needs of people who are incarcerated or soon to be formally incarcerated. But one of the things that I was able to do was my political experience. And, you know, you remember when I was running for office and being on, I was constantly knocking on people's doors,
Sure do.
constantly holding office hours, helping people one by one. And that's what I was able to do there. And that's what I'm able to do now. And during COVID, you know, the federal prison system, a number of state systems, were allowing nonviolent offenders to be able to spend more time in a halfway house, get out of the prisons, which had become a big COVID area. I was able to help with that. And now I'm able to help people who are now formally incarcerated reintegrate into society, help them get jobs, help them find meaningful employment. I think that's a call for all of us, because if we as a society decide, okay, here's a list of things, and I teach my students this at Seton Hall Law School, here's a list of things you can't do. We call them laws. Right? And if you break the law, there's going to be some punishment for that. Right? So we as a society say, you know, you can't rob a bank. You can't do this or that. But if you do that, we're going to send you to prison. We're going to take you away from society. We're going to put you somewhere else for a period of time. And after that, in that period of time, we want you to get better. We want you to learn more. We want you to be able to get a job. So when you come out, we want you to be able to be back in this. But what we've done is we've forgotten that third part. We made the list of rules. Certainly the laws, there's lots and lots of books of laws, and lawyers like me, you know, lots of books. And we have lots of prisons, more prisoners in prison than any other country in the Western world, nearly any in the whole world. But we haven't done a good job. And it's not a Republican or Democratic thing. It's not a left or right thing. We have not done as good a job saying, okay, you did something bad. We sent you to prison, but now you're coming back. We need to do a better job with Halfway House, with education, with living, to make people come back to our communities and be a vibrant part of the community. Or guess what happens? People commit crimes again.
Yep,
So
that
I'd
is
like
true.
to- yeah, no. So Bill, you make a great point, and what I want to ask is the time that people are serving. I don't think there's enough opportunities for them to grow. Financial literacy. I mean, you know as well as I do. And on a personal note, I've hired some of these young men, and you know they get $600-700 a week. They just blow it, you know, because they've been in there for 4 years, but haven't been taught to manage their money. Haven't been taught to put this in the savings, use this, and live moderately. How much reform do you think needs to be done while they're incarcerated so they're better prepared and better equipped when they come out?
It's a great question. And the short answer is an enormous amount. Right? When I was in Loretto, one of the things that we started was a Shark Tank, you know, that TV show.
Oh, I
Yes.
love that.
And we had some of our, you know, some of the fellow people in Loretto, some of us were sort of business types or government types. People would come in with their business ideas, and we would have this back and forth about what about this, what about, and some businesses have been started that way. So that was inmate driven. We did it.
Right.
I think we need to do more focus on the system helping people who are inside, whether that's more continuing education classes, more job training classes, financial literacy classes. People should, just as you need to get a GED, everybody can benefit from financial. That's something, it's not even just prison. That's something our
Yes.
school system should
Universal.
also be doing,
Yeah,
right?
and they are now.
And I think that that's sort of a good sign. Now I have to give credit, like both the Democratic Congress and President Trump worked together. One of the few things they all worked together on in the bipartisan First Step Act to give people in the federal prison system credit for taking classes, for working, for participating in activities. States are doing similar things. You know, if you take some, you know, I was in prison. You get up at 6 something in the morning and you go to bed at 10 something at night. What are you doing for those hours
Right.
in between?
How do you pass that time?
How do you pass that time? And in the more opportunity, whether it's work, classes, job training, the better. And that will make people, when they come home, and people will say when they get out, I always want to come home. They're coming home.
Right. They're
And
coming
what are
home
we
back
doing?
into
What are we
the
doing
society.
to make that exactly right?
So talking about that, what do you do while you are there in question of your own mental health? Did you have tricks, tips, or a routine that help you really deal with your environment while you were there?
Could have been a couple months, could have been years that you were going to be
It
there.
was-
But
it
how
could
do
have
you
been a
get
year
through
and a
each day?
But like, did you read? Did you breathe? Did you meditate? Did you do some sort? You know, what was your
What a
trick?
great question. I haven't been asked that question before. That's true. I think there's two things.
Right.
One of them is have a routine.
Right,
And it's important to have it because if you don't, the day just feels like it takes forever.
right.
So get into a routine quickly. And my view is I'm going to be here 18 months. I'm going to work out every day.
Yes.
So I worked out, as a lot of people who are incarcerated do, I worked out
Right.
maybe 4 or 5 hours a day.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
Oh yeah, worked
Wow.
out, walked the track, took a workout class.
Zumba.
No, not Zumba.
Jazz exercise.
But we also, I mean, people had yoga. I mean,
Yeah.
people had
Yoga,
played
relax,
basketball.
meditate.
So part of that was have a routine. Part of then it was teaching. Part of the day. Part of it was just spending time. But here's the other important thing that I found. You asked about mental health. What a
Yes.
great question. Everybody who goes in has dealt with a lot of emotions, whether that's betrayal, whether
Yep.
that's anger, whether that's sadness. And for me, it was putting all those rocks down to go, to put them down because it would just make the time there more difficult.
Mhm.
And I guess one other thing, the role that visits have in prison, your family and your
Yes.
friends coming to visit. And while I was there, I was fortunate. I had people drive the 4+ hours from Hamilton, from here in Central Jersey to come visit. I had people visit me from Ireland, people visit me from Chicago who came to support. About once a week I had visits.
That's
But there were
amazing.
people that I was there with
Mhm.
whose families could not afford to come visit them.
Right.
I remember one a very good friend whose family was only in Baltimore, just a few hours away, and they couldn't afford it. So one of the things that I have done, to your question, Melissa, about not-for-profit work, is along with my friend Gordon Kaplan, who was someone who did serve time in federal prison, we started the Prison Visitation Fund,
Oh,
which is a
that's
not-for-profit that will help people whose family members are incarcerated go visit their loved ones. And sometimes that means paying for a rental car. Sometimes
Right.
that means paying for a plane in a hotel room.
Right.
And we've tried to raise resources, and we've succeeded in raising resources and sending people to visit their loved ones.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
but
amazing.
No, that's
it's
great.
so important.
So
We wanna keep
important
people
to have
together.
someone
So
visit you is
I'm
everything.
sorry. To segue from that, because I have followed some of the things that you've talked about, and ironically enough, when I teach these young men that are incarcerated, 9.5 out of 10 of them were convicted because of their best friend
Oh my God.
giving them up. So
Mm.
then when you get incarcerated, as you've mentioned, and I'm paraphrasing, you really find out who your real friends are and how many real friends you don't.
Mm.
On a personal level, now that you've come back out, did that change who you are as an individual, knowing who your real friends were? And then those people who weren't your real friends at that time, oh, I knew all along, Bill. I knew, yeah, Bill, I knew all the time you were fine. As an individual, because I want to learn for myself, how did that make you feel?
Certainly it was hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would say 90-something% of the people I'd worked in politics with disappeared.
Mhm.
Just gone almost
Yeah.
instantly. Now, some people had to
Instantly.
disappear because the case was political.
Right.
They were potential witnesses. But there was a lot of people who just disappeared. But there was a lot of people on the other side. People who stepped up, who just were there, like a firefighter rushing towards something. I will say people at home in Hamilton were there. And they were there for me, but they were really there for my father and stepmother. Right.
So
and the
important.
people who knew you best.
Yeah.
But it was hard losing people but in some ways it's like if you could take a pill at some point in your life and learn who all your friends were,
Right.
Yeah,
boy, that
a
really,
true pill.
first of all, it reduces the number of Christmas cards you get.
Yeah,
and
it really
presents.
does.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
But it also gives you gives you an idea, but it also teaches you something else, to be that friend.
Mhm.
Right. So
Other
it was a
people in
learning
crisis.
experience for me of who your friends are and who are. And as you know, the case lasted many, many years.
Right.
Yeah.
So people
2013.
started in 2013. And the ability to learn who your friends are, but also teaches you, don't be one of the people who runs the other way. Like,
Absolutely.
look, there were people, I didn't need people to solve my problem, but there were people who just said, Bill, I'm here for you. Right. And those people really are your friends.
I have a question for you. When you were in prison, you met people. Was there anybody that you mentored once you left? Because I know that you're all into mentoring people, and I know that you do have the visitation fund, which is so important for the nonprofit. That's helping people that are incarcerated currently. But how about on the outside? Is there people that you're still keeping in touch with that you're mentoring, or people that recently got released that you're mentoring on a regular basis?
I am. Just actually right before we came on here, I was texting with a friend who now lives in South Florida, who I was sat at the same lunch table with, and same dinner table with every day that I was there. He's now home. He just got married. He's rebuilding his life. And I've had the opportunity to continue to work with him. And a lot of times what happens is people who are incarcerated, they go out, they go to a halfway house for a while. They can't speak to people who are formerly incarcerated. So they can't talk to people that, you could spend 8-10 years in prison. You get out, people who had get left before you, you can't talk to them.
Right.
I am in this weird situation that I was in federal prison with these people, but I'm no longer, because the United States Supreme Court said I was not convicted rightfully. I was and so I can talk to folks. So again, sometimes life just puts you in a situation you didn't expect. Trust me, Melissa, when you and I, how many years ago, were running around doing all kinds of community events, everything we were doing, right? I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you about the time I spent in federal prison. But one of the things we all learn is that sometimes life comes at you. Life comes at you fast. This is sort of slow. But when it comes at you, you have two choices, right? You can either just let it beat you and go away and hide. And there were moments I felt that way. There were moments, I can tell you, there were moments where I said, you know what, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to move to Ireland because I'm an Irish citizen, an American citizen. I'm going to just move to Dublin and start all over again.
Right.
But then the vast majority, including going back to friends who were here for me, like, no, this is just a new challenge. For me, it's now, just as I used to be knocking on doors all throughout my legislative district, now it's helping people all across the country who are, I just got back helping someone who's about to go into prison. He's going to have a tough time, but you have to be there for people.
And now this new step that you are taking, this new journey, like you say, is propels you to do a book that you are writing.
Yeah. Well, this will be my second book.
Your second book.
My first book, Fat Kid Got Fit.
I was going to say, you got fit in prison. I was going to say that earlier because Bill used to be a little heavier. And you're keeping up with the weight loss.
Yeah, look at the picture.
And I read you that other book too, by the way.
You're the one. My first tens of people read the first book. Great. But yes, I'm working on finalizing a book called From Bridge to Bars, A Journey Through the Criminal Justice System. The focus is not really on the case.
Right.
The focus is on everything else that came out of it. What the case did, and look, the case fundamentally changed my life. It fundamentally changed the direction my life was taking, but it changed it in the direction where I'm now able to continue the good work that all of us do when it comes to helping people. We do it in different ways, but doing it in a way that I've now learned from. And as I was saying before, taking the experience I had in Loretto, taking the opportunity, the people that I met there, the learning that I got from people that I was, because people say, oh, Bill, you got to teach GED, you get to teach. I learned from people I was there with. Right. And that was a real blessing to me. And I'm now doing something.
We are so lucky to have you here on the show, sharing your story, giving tips. Like you said, these type of things can happen to anybody. You being a lawyer and spelling out what the law is and don't break the law and mentoring other people is so important to really help people in the community where everybody loves Bill Baroni. So,
well, what I like the best, part of what I like is you're an attorney. You probably have 1,000 attorney friends before you decided to go into prison. You listen to your father. Your father told you, do not plead guilty. And you listen to your father.
Yes, he did.
That was, I remember hearing that. And
my father, as you remember, my dad's a guy from the Irish Italian guy from the South Bronx.
Right.
Tough guy, was in the military. And he would say, as the government would, plead guilty, the government would offer plea deals. My father said, we don't plead guilty.
Yeah.
We don't. I'm like, well, Pop, we don't go to prison.
Right.
So,
how are we here?
But he was right.
Yeah, I remember hearing that part of your story, and it touched me because, again, Irish Italian, second generation from Trenton, and when you said that, I said, "Wow, okay,
that is
that
awesome.
that really brought family into the fact that, you know, what you were doing was right.
Yeah, honestly, because of my dad, I didn't plead guilty, and because of my dad, I went to prison. So it's just,
You got to get back to Jay.
Can't wait to read the book.
Thank you.
We'll have to have you back.
I look forward.
Bill, if you have a message for the viewers, please share that message with them. Let them know how they can reach you, help you with your next step.
Thanks so much for spending some time today on the Gab. If you've got a moment, take a look at prisonvisitationfund.org. It's an organization that helps people from all across the country visit their loved ones who are incarcerated. They can't afford it. We as a community can help build families together because, quite frankly, almost everybody's coming home. And we want people to come home to a community and a family that's been kept together throughout the time they spent away. So take a look, prisonvisitationfund.org. And thank you all very much for allowing me to talk about this great organization.
Great advice.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
very
Bill.
much. Thank you.
Enjoy your journey today.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the Gab. Make sure to follow us on all our social media. We are so honored, proud, and happy to have Danielle Tyson. She is a student at Rider. And please present yourself, Danielle.
Hi, well, thank you guys so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. But I'm a senior at Rider, and I'm a broadcast journalism major with a minor in business. And I'm just really excited to be here today. I'm really involved in school. I'm on the Division I field hockey team there. I'm also a member and the vice president of SAC, and I work at the radio station where I'm a producer. I have my own talk show, and I'm on the exec staff as the webmaster. So I just like to be involved. I love to do it all.
Yeah.
You're sure doing it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Taking advantage.
So your takeaway, so you were in the back over there listening to Bill. Did you have anything that came out from that first segment?
I just think he's an amazing guy, and he really held tough through everything that went on. And it's really beautiful that he could make such good things come out of such a bad situation. And his message at the end, and I think that organization that they formed to help people who can't have their families come see them, that's just beautiful, because everyone needs that support. And anything you do, you want to be around your loved ones.
That's amazing. So you are a senior, and you've done so much in your time at Rider. I'm an alum of Rider as well, as I told you, so that's pretty exciting. So you've done internships. How did you come to your major? Did you volunteer? Talk about your internships and what people are doing as they graduate in the job market. What are you looking to do?
Well, so how I came to this, in my 7th grade year, I was on our morning talk show at school. And I was like, wow, I love doing this. So I also did it my 8th grade year, and then I did it my freshman year of high school and my senior year, because we had it going through our middle school and our high school. And I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. And I came into college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
So
that's
early.
actually what brought me to Rider, because they had this program in the spring where you can, if you're a broadcast journalism major, if you're a TV or a film major, you can go to LA and have an internship there. And I'm going to do it. So hopefully I can secure a job, and I'll be moving out there if everything works out.
When do you go to LA?
I leave January 4th. So
Oh,
after
that's
the
an amazing
semester.
opportunity.
So talking about the challenges of being a writer student or any college student looking for a job out there, tell us, what are the biggest challenge today?
I think maybe keeping your head on straight, like especially in your senior year, there's so much going on. Like you're always gonna experience everything. Like there's a million things going on. So you just gotta apply, keep yourself focused, and eventually you'll get there. And along with that, I just think like I'm an athlete. So I think the biggest thing I struggle with is time management. As I said, I have so many things going on. So you gotta apply your time to all the right things at all the right times. And I know that's like hard for everyone. It's really hard for me, but once you do that, you'll get your foot in the right door and everything will work out.
You
I
seem to
strongly
be doing
believe
pretty
it.
well with it in our
Thank
eyes.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the question: 10 years from now, where do we see Danielle?
Well, hopefully in LA, and my big dream is to have my own talk show. So hopefully I'll be hosting a show, a game show, or having my own talk show like Oprah or something. Or I think something that we need is females in sports. We don't see a lot of females in sports media. So like we do, but not on their own platform. So I think that'd be really cool if I can make that happen.
That's
too.
interesting because there are a lot more women newscasters on ESPN
Yes.
and lately, but they don't have their own show. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. They're one of many and they really know the sport, but there's more and more opportunities. We've only seen that change the last couple of years. I was very proud to watch and see so many women educated in sports because that is rare. So I can't wait till you get your own show. That's going to be
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So tell us a little bit like what is the curriculum that Rider offer as into your field of expertise?
Well, my freshman year to now has changed actually because before broadcast journalism majors were also included with the TV and film majors, but now they're two separate things and journalism's like on its own little island over here and TV on its own island over here. So you take a lot of writing classes, obviously, and you get some like, you get to be fluid a little bit. You get to pick what you want to do. Like if you want to do sports stuff, you can take classes like that. Like let's say you have to fill like 15 credits, but they'll give you options, like 3 options per each credit. So I always do TV stuff. I love being in front of the camera. I also love being behind the camera. I love post-production, pre-production, anything with it, I'm in it. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Now, talking about production, of course, you know, it's like it's way different to be front the camera than it is to be behind the camera. We talked about that with Joseph at one time. But what is interesting to me is that you want to be on TV when actually streaming platform seems to be the thing of the future.
Yeah, but I think the world is ever changing. I really do believe that. And sometimes we're thinking streaming's where it's at, but I just think like it's the same thing with like shopping malls and shopping online. Like they're getting rid of shopping malls and stores and stuff because all the online stuff is coming out. But I think in like 10 years they're going to be like, oh man, we want to be back in the mall.
And that's
And I think that's the
exactly
same
it.
thing.
People want to try on
Yeah.
those clothes. So what's old is what's new. So you want to be able to have your hands in both. What do you see at Rider as a student that other people are graduating as the world changes, like nursing, teaching? I know you have your major, but what are your friends doing and what are they looking forward to when they're getting out and graduating?
I
What type of
know
jobs?
A
We're gonna
lot
talk
of
about the
exercise
workforce.
science majors.
Okay,
So
that's interesting.
I mean, I don't really know what they want to do with that degree. There's a lot of things you can do. You could be like a physical therapist. If you get your doctorate, there's so many things you could do. And I also know a lot of computer science. I know that's becoming really
Very big.
big in this day and
Yeah.
age. And with everything moving to technology, how could you go wrong in that career? Like
Absolutely.
if you take that
New
up, you're
platforms.
always going to have a job.
That's great.
So
see that
I
shift
like
as
that you
well.
have a minor in business. Why did you choose a minor in business, and what will you do with that?
Well, I was thinking if all else fails, I'll have business right in the back door.
Okay. All right.
But I think business is such like a wide spectrum of things that you can do. Like you can open your own business, you can work for any business. And I think having that background will make you more successful in anything you do because everything's a business. So
That
I
is
agree.
true.
My daughter, as I said, is going for journalism, and she started out just saying she was going to be an English major, and she just got accepted to her first college, and she switched to journalism, and then she said she may do business because she wants to be well-rounded. I mean, your degree is your degree, but you want to be able to have something that you can have as a backup. But she wants journalism. She's a good writer. She doesn't want to be on TV. She wants to be behind writing scripts. She's a great storyteller. So you're going to be an inspiration when you see
Oh, that's
Great.
great.
Now, when you anytime when you were front the camera, were you frozen, bloopers? What was the scariest moment?
I don't think I had too many scary moments.
Come
in front
on,
of the camera.
Danya.
No, I think my worst moments are I do this talk show every Monday at 4 on the radio station.
Right.
And I don't know why, but anytime I'm reading people's bios, I like trip up on my words and I'm like, I think those are my worst moments. But in front of the camera,
I watched some of
trying
your
to
clips. The
think.
technology was amazing. I mean, you can tell it's somebody that's in the modern world. Like we have some clips and they're great, but for the clips for the youth, you can't beat that. Like the Snapchats and all of the
Yeah.
different things that you do. And even when you were walking through the studio at Ryder, that clip was just simply amazing. You did
and
a
I
great
shot
job.
it all on my phone.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Literally on my
Really,
phone.
It's the technology and it's the view through the lens of someone that's youthful that understands what's right. And that's why you're here today
Aw.
to share all your tips with everyone.
That's right. So, which tips do you have for the youth out there that wants to be the greatest filmmaker?
I think just work with all the resources you have. Like I know sometimes like you won't get offered everything, but through your iPhone, your MacBook, your iPad, you could use things like Final Cut Pro, iMovie, just get your foot in the door wherever you can too. Like if you can get involved in the newspaper, the radio station, the TV studio, like those are all things I do. And you get to learn from not only the people who run those things, but your peers. And the more people you're around, the more people you're learning from, the better you're going to be. Like you can only elevate yourself. Like you can only walk up the steps when you're working with other talented human beings.
And a lot of that's through internships. Did you do internships throughout your college career or just really junior, senior?
Just really junior and senior. I mean, I would have loved to in my freshman and sophomore year, but being an athlete,
It's busy schedule.
It's so hard to have time. Like,
Oh, I agree.
Now, let's say in 10 years, you do have that big TV show on CNN or wherever,
ESPN.
sports, and
Let's-
thank you,
ESPN.
ESPN. And you have a young, inspiring college student that exactly want to take the same path. What will be your word to her?
my word of advice would be get involved, stay focused, and be your authentic self. I think the best thing you can do is be yourself. You will give who you are to the world, and people always appreciate when you're genuine. So I think that's the
great
best
advice.
anyone could do.
I like that. I like that.
That's awesome. Any other question?
Yeah. So you said you wanted to get into sports and you said you liked the talk show. Do you have anyone that you look towards now that's a female that's currently doing what you are aspiring to do?
Well, I don't think I have anyone specific that I picked out. Really growing up, my model, who I followed was Oprah.
Yeah, I heard you
But
say
just
Oprah.
recently, one of my professors brought it up to me, like, you're an athlete, you should talk about sports, you know everything. And I'm like, I could.
Right.
So, I mean, I love to see people who look like me. Like, I know my academic athletic advisor, Corey Washington, her sister actually works for ESPN. And she's just such a help. And it's beautiful to see people like you in the field and just doing the thing. Like, it just shows you that you can get there yourself too.
Right.
That's great.
That's excellent.
That is awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about the holidays are coming into the rear mirror. And are you guys taking a break for the holidays coming?
Yes.
Or yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually play a fall sport, so it should be ending within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't know yet because we just made it into playoffs. So we're the
Congrats.
first seed. We beat
Nice.
a rival, which is
That's
so
fantastic.
cool. So we have one game on Friday, which is our last conference game, which I'm confident we're going to win. And then we have another game on Sunday, and then we're going to be playing in our playoffs to win the NEC. I have a feeling that we're going to come out on top of that. And when we do that, we make it to NCAA. So
Oh,
Amazing.
Yeah,
that
is
would be great.
amazing.
We wish you the best of luck with
Thank
it. So
you,
what
I
do you do for
appreciate it.
Halloween? What do college students do? Do they go to parties? Do they still trick or treat? What did college students do for Halloween? Tell us.
well, I guess everyone parties, but we have dry season, so we're not allowed to do anything for Halloween. I haven't done anything for Halloween in 4 years. Like, so what we do as a team tradition, we all dress up. Like, all the
Oh, I
classes
love
have
that.
a theme, and we dress up, and our coaches pick who has the best costume. So
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
before we go to really into the Hocus Pocus Halloween scene,
Mhm.
right, who is our next segment, Joseph, for example, is a big filmmaker. He work with also youth. Do you perhaps have question to him about, the family, the objective of being a filmmaker, producer, and editor?
how did you get here?
Terrible. I just quit, find another job. Here's what I will say. So we have a saying called love the process, which is very similar to what you were saying. If you don't love what you do, you're never going to be happy. If you get into an industry like entertainment or broadcast, if you're looking to go make money, don't do that. If you really love it and you love the process of doing it, not what you see afterwards, but the process of filming, editing, excuse me, finding interviews, the production side of it, you're going to do great and you will succeed. But as soon as people get into the industry to, one, make a ton of money, there's only like 1% of the millions and millions of people who try to do that who actually make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there's only 5% that reach actual fame. So, but there's plenty of jobs and plenty of ways you can make money and have a great life. So the fact that you are editing, learning how to edit, learning how to film, I think that's fantastic. But you never know. Just keep your eyes open. You may be one of the best female editors for ESPN 10 years from now, and that would be
We hope
amazing. So I wish you all the luck. It sounds like you have it
I
together.
appreciate
Just
it.
love the process of doing it. Don't love the rewards of it because they're going to be very few as you move forward.
And into the workplace, as you know, Melissa is very strong into the workplace. So if you have any question, to turn towards Melissa.
How do you just manage everything?
So I owned a staffing agency for about 18 years, and I did work very closely with Rider, the College of New Jersey, having interns and also helping people find jobs. So if you find students that are still looking as they graduate and can't find jobs, we do internships, but we also do paid jobs. I think what Joseph said is true. It's the passion that you have for a particular field.
Yeah.
You're going to make money no matter what you do, but if you have the passion for something, you're going to be happier doing it. So I love that you have the business major. I know that you're going to make it on the front end in journalism and have your own show someday, but it's good to really have that business degree. So if you shift in a couple years and want to change, that you have those transferable skills to do so. So I tell people, keep interning, getting jobs. Volunteering is important because when you volunteer, you can go to different organizations, nonprofits, and find out what you like and what you don't like. My daughter did an internship this summer, and she did a newspaper for the Capital Region Minority Chamber, and she realized she liked content management more than she thought, which was great. So she does like writing, and then that can be transferred into public relations, journalism, all of those other things that are in business. So really just understanding what drives you in the field and going to people, letting people know you're looking. There's staffing agencies, there's connections that your parents and friends have that you can say, I'm looking for this particular job. Can you get my resume to the right people? Asking people for help is really important. They know you graduated, but if you don't reach out to other people that are in those higher positions, it's hard to be able to push forward. So always ask for help.
So you
Let
got
people know you're available and network.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Neighbors, friends, relatives, and people in the community from Rider will be very helpful.
Thank you.
You're
Are you
welcome.
working on any other project right now?
Right now, well, I'm always working on my talk show. I do that every Monday at 4 on 107.7 The Bronx. And along with that, for one of my classes, we're actually doing a Halloween episode,
Oh.
which we used a lot of green screen stuff. So we're like floating heads for the intro and outro.
Oh, nice.
We'll have to tune into that. We're everything Halloween here.
Yes.
And the science department let us borrow the skeleton. So we did an interview with him, and we had one of our crewmates. He did the voiceover for him. So I think it's gonna come together really nicely. It was we did a lot in
great.
pre-production, so post-production's going pretty easy. We're actually presenting it to the class tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is absolutely awesome. I think your journey is going to be awesome. You have everything for you, playing for you, and just follow your dream. Dream big and go for it.
Yes.
Always. So right now, Joseph, what are we doing?
I think, I mean, as our producer behind the scenes started bringing in this bubbly cauldron, I think we're transitioning over to the Hocus Pocus segment. If our producer
We're going for a break.
Where's our? We're going for a break.
We're going for
I
a
didn't
break.
break.
We'll talk about Hocus Pocus when we come back.
Oh, see ya.
Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I got it. Welcome back to the Gab Show. It's time for some Halloween fun, and we're gonna have an introduction from Hocus, and then we'll join in with Pocus. Take it away, Gabs.
All right. The next segment is actually, we're going to very shortly see a little clip from Eric Mental. And he is a programmer here, producer. Eric Mental investigates on Princeton TV. He has been here for 11 years, producing show about paranormals and everything. He is an acclaimed jazz musician with his group, the Eric Mental Quartet. And Eric has performed in front of the White House, at the Kennedy Center, and at different United Nations concerts. But late at night, Eric Mental investigate the paranormal. So numerous newspapers.
In his spare time.
In his spare time from the White House. There you go.
That did sound like a big bio.
My goodness. I couldn't hold that one in.
But you will see, sure, every Saturday on CNGN. It's actually really, really
I'm sure it's a great show.
That's in Bucks County. My hometown. Lots of ghosts over there.
It talks about
Lots of ghosts in Bucks County. So let's get to Eric.
That's good. Roll the clip.
Okay, but what?
My name is Eric Mintel. By night, I'm a professional jazz musician, but by even later at night, I investigate the paranormal. I, along with my team at Bucks County Paranormal Investigations, travel the country investigating all things paranormal.
This is Bucks County Paranormal Investigations.
I did some research on this one. The shadow creature in the old Stoltzman Observatory has been seen in this area since around 1870.
Yeah, when I was on the phone with a woman who saw it the other night, I mean, she was really, really scared. I mean, you can't fake that. I could hear the fear in her voice.
I have no idea what it is. You guys really need to get over here. I'm really scared.
The other thing that has me concerned, people, after they see the shadow, they also report seeing a large bat.
A bat? Come on, we need to meet her and get all the info we can. Come on.
Hey, there he goes.
Hell, Dave, did you see that? Where the hell? What the? Dave, you okay?
Yeah, where are we?
Where are we? I'm not sure what just happened to us. 1 minute we saw the figure, and the next we're here in this abandoned house. This is not good. Dave, what the hell is that? A coffin?
What the hell?
So just to be clear, this was actually a fun video from Eric Mental. You can watch his real show on CNGN TV. Danielle, what are you cooking?
All the potions.
Ooh!
Exciting.
Exciting!
The potion
Oh.
isn't steamy how it was before.
Do it? Oh no! I'm looking.
Oh, it's coming. There it goes.
Wow. This is fantastic. All right, I need to know, what are you doing for Halloween?
What I do for
Yeah.
Halloween?
Yeah.
I scare the kids away.
Okay. That's nice.
So what do I do?
Yes.
I carve the pumpkins prior to, and I don't have some of the friends over, Mina's friends, even though she doesn't go out, and parents over for Halloween. I've been doing it for a long time. So kind of have the festive party, and we put the candy outside so they can grab all the candy they want, and sometimes they come in, but it's a little Halloween
What do
party
you
on
mean?
the
You leave
actual
it
day.
outside? What kind of neighborhood you live in?
Near the bonfire.
Where actually people are grabbing the right amount of candy.
We say only take one, and only every once in a while the kids take the whole thing, but I have plenty of bags.
Oh,
Okay. You know
okay.
the kids do that. They sort of pour the
Joseph,
whole bowl in.
did they gel you again?
Yes, I'm
Are
detained
you detained?
by the Gab show.
Are you going
Listen,
to...
it's better than putting a hat on. That's all. I'm not
Are you,
putting
are,
a
you
hat
go,
on.
are you going to be out for Halloween?
I will not be out for Halloween. My lights will be off. Please do not come to my house. I do not have candy.
Don't go visit him.
You're not trick-or-treating?
No.
But I think this is
No.
the same hat that I've worn all of these years, so I don't overly get dressed up, but I'm a little festive when
I
I
love
open
the
the door.
hat.
So,
Okay.
so we'll
Love
talk
the hat.
about
All right.
Hocus Pocus. Who has seen the new Hocus Pocus? The old one has been out since 1993. There's 3 witches, and there's 3 witches right here.
Look at us go.
And now the new one was just released on Disney. And it has Sarah Jessica Parker, Bette Midler, and that other Kathy character. But the 3 witches, they just haven't aged in all these years. They come back all these years later, and it's a cult classic. People just love to watch Hocus Pocus. But tell us some of your favorite Halloween movies. Is there anything that comes to mind that
I
you
like
just love?
Switches. You know the Disney
Really?
Channel movie?
I do
Yeah,
know
with
that.
I think it was with the twins.
Yes.
She went to marry-
Oh, yes.
one.
That was a good
I
one.
also love Hocus Pocus. Any Halloween Disney movie, I'm in. And I also love scary movies.
Do you
too.
like those scary movies?
I do.
Like
Ah.
Scream. How about Scream? That's one of my
Yeah,
favorites. Have you
Scream
seen
was good.
Scream?
Yeah,
Please
Scream
tell me
was.
you saw that,
I'll
Joseph.
get. Yeah, I'll
I
go
can't
with
take
Scream.
it. I can't take it.
No, I like
I can't
Scream.
take it.
I still. I mean, they said that this is it for Michael Myers. This is the end. I don't know. I
Really?
want to see another Michael Myers next year, even though they said this is the end. I'm very
Really?
excited about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
What
like
about
13.
so you like those things where they grab you and pull you and tear you?
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell
Bloody
you.
arms.
I will say this: as I did do a horror film.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I do have one on
Ooh.
my credit,
Oh.
and I will tell you this.
As an actor or
Yes.
producer?
And
Okay.
their fans are the greatest fans on the planet.
True.
So the film I was in was with 2 scream queens, as they call them. I don't know if you ever
Right.
heard of a scream
We
queen.
have.
Debbie Rochon was one of them. We had to go to conferences.
Right.
These guys knew everything about these Scream Queens. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, they knew everything from their shoe size to where they were born, how old they are, every film they were in, and the fans that follow the horror culture are the most dedicated fans I've ever seen.
I can't believe that. But you know, it's funny because when I was 16, right, I used to love those horror movies. I could do a marathon of horror movie. Right.
So
from-
what changed?
I don't know.
Beetlejuice.
I don't know.
Beetlejuice, that's a cool classic.
Yeah, it's a little too much for me.
So Danielle, what are you besides cooking? What
other things?
What are you doing
Not just
at
Halloween, but
college?
For the holidays at college.
For the holidays, well, Halloween, we got to get through that first, and then we're gonna go home for Thanksgiving. I can't wait. My mom cooks up a storm every Thanksgiving. We always do it at our house. All of our family and friends come over. Sometimes it's like 40 people at our house, which is so much fun. And then I'm also looking forward to Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas?
Right.
Do you have a parade on college for Halloween?
No.
No.
I don't do anything special.
Maybe you should start a Halloween
Maybe we should.
parade.
Starting
There should
everything else
be a-
at college.
That's right. You're doing everything
Parade's
else
just
over there.
another
You might
thing.
as well.
No, Christmas though. Santa does come in a fire truck and throws candy at us.
Ah.
Okay. He makes the rounds, Santa. Santa gets everywhere with that
So
truck.
I know Melissa has always a great party for Halloween.
Well, now I know she gives out free candy. I'm
Free
going.
candy. You can come to my
Going
house.
to
You
her
can get the
house.
whole entire bag.
I'm going to take the bag and I'm going to text her, your candy's empty.
It just, it started out because my daughter was little and we had to walk around and then we wanted
Right.
to have people back at the house. So, and have her friends in one spot that was safe. I always love Halloween. It's great.
Yeah, I don't, do you still get a lot of trick-or-treaters? All kidding aside, where I live, there's not a lot of people going out for trick-or-treat anymore.
Right.
There was like 3 or 4 years where I had the light on, I had the candy, I was excited, ready to see it, because I like the little ones.
Yes,
you know,
me
the
too.
little ones are fun.
That's true. In their frog out.
Yeah, anything. Power Rangers, I love it. But are we still doing that? I mean,
I don't know. That is the big question. Meaning, I know, by example, somebody was talking to me that into the area, actually, one of our board members here at CNJN was telling us, oh, you know, we are kind of doing Halloween tailgating.
Yeah.
Where
Trunk or treat. is
Yeah,
the big
trunk or
one.
treat.
Yeah,
That's
trunk or
the
treat.
real
Yeah.
word. Where they have all the cars and all the candies in the and the kids go from car to car. And I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That was the new trend
Yes.
a couple years ago that everybody was doing
Yeah.
trunk or treat. I did it for home front with my daughter for many years
Yeah.
because you go to the group home there and you open up your trunks and you decorate
hot.
it beautifully.
Yeah.
So it's just an amazing trunk or treat. But I think that was a phase for like sporting events and for certain people. But the
Actually, the
old-fashioned
Trenton
way-
Police Station is still doing it. When that, I think it's next week, next Thursday, like the day before Halloween, and it's really fun. It really is.
great because everybody's in one spot. It's safe. You don't have
Yeah.
to go up to strangers. I mean, we tell the kids stranger danger, and then we have them going up to the doors. Sometimes with their parents way down below,
Right.
and it's just kind of a stranger danger type of thing. So having it contained is a really good idea. I hope that trend comes back and continues.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think it's great.
So I think that Halloween is an American, celebration. Obviously, I only learned about it when I came into this country. So, but it is a fun thing for kids.
It is. And how about ghosts? Do you guys believe in ghosts? We
Ghosts.
didn't get to talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk
Because
about
the-
that great clip.
That was a great
Yes.
clip. And talking about ghosts, I don't know and I don't believe in a lot of ghosts, but when I was young, we used to do this, and you may know this, Danielle, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
All kids
We
still
do it too.
You go
Yeah.
in the mirror and you look and you twirl around 3 times and you say Bloody Mary.
Oh my God.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody
Bloody
Mary.
And then you look, and if you see Bloody Mary, you saw a ghost, and your
You
future
did?
is bright. And
You-
we used to.
You were
this is-
dizzy.
And Danielle, is this still something popular today?
In
that
like
people
middle
do?
school
In
and
middle
high school, yeah,
It's
for
still
sure.
around.
But at this point in my life, I think we've all outgrown it. But I
Yes.
guarantee the kids are still doing it.
I think so.
Like
I think mine was
100%.
in middle school as well.
Yeah.
And you do outgrow it. There's no Santa Claus.
Yeah.
There's no,
We do it in the
Easter
school
Bunny,
bathroom,
but-
actually.
So you don't see costume going around on Rider campus. I'm surprised.
Actually, this reminds me, it completely crossed my mind.
Right.
We put on this event called Screen. It was last Friday.
Okay.
And it's like a whole bunch of trunk or treating. The radio station actually runs it. So
Right,
I'm very
right.
involved in that.
That's great.
And there's a whole bunch of trunk or treaters. There's food trucks. There's just everything you
love
can do,
food
and it's
trucks.
open to the whole community. Anyone can come.
All right.
So keep your eyes open for the one
That's
next
amazing.
year.
We will. Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll join.
So thank you very much, everyone, for have watched us today. Make sure to follow us on all our social media. If you have missed or want to rewatch this segment, go to our cngn.org website and go to the archive show. You'll be able to catch it, watch it with a friend, do a watch party. And again, Danielle, thank you so much for joining us.
Joseph,
for
we're glad
having
that you're
me.
here
Yes.
today. Great show. Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!